We used to have TVs were so expensive before when they would break, my parents wouldn't even throw them away. We had 3. 2 of them didn't work.
Wow.
And we just stack them on top of each other
That's
like Legos.
the Jeff Foxworthy joke, huh?
Yeah.
So you know you're a redneck.
Oh.
You put a broken TV on top of
I guess I was
good
a
TV.
redneck.
Yeah. Well,
didn't
the kind of the logic there is that like at some point we're going to come into some money and we're going to fix that bottom TV.
Oh,
Then we'll
wow.
have 2 TVs.
Yeah, dude. It is crazy how that technology changed. Even like Honda Civics, man, like they had to start making Hondas less as good because back in like 95, they made Hondas and Toyotas so good, people didn't buy other cars.
Oh, yeah.
You know, they were like, oh,
The 96 Civics, classic.
Bro, you
Yeah,
go
yeah.
25 years, no problem.
Hell yeah.
So now they're like, nah, we lost a lot of money making this car too good.
Yeah.
They have the technology to do it, but why make a car good? Like
Right.
phones. Why make a phone good when you could make a phone last a year? Let's hit them even harder next
Right.
time.
See, I feel like it's almost with Civics or something with like if they make a cool car, it always kind of sucks the fact that they can't just make it again.
Right.
They couldn't just say, in 96, we nailed it. Let's just run that back. It's like, no, we got to keep changing it and making it look worse.
I wonder why that is. They had the Pontiac.
You got to
Grand
sell
Prix.
some more cars.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
They had the Pontiac Grand Prix, and it was or the Grand Am. Remember those?
Yeah.
Dude, they sold those Grand Ams were everywhere. They did it right.
Yeah.
And Pontiac went out of business. It's like, how? You guys sold so many cars.
Right. But there was like, I feel like there's an agreed upon aesthetic for certain cars that look better. And for some reason, they just stopped doing it.
Yeah.
And I feel like the cars that come out now, almost everybody thinks it looks worse.
I bet you they thought that back in the day, too.
I don't know. Well, I mean, like, I feel like if we weren't buying car age at 96, but you would have been pretty psyched to get that car, huh?
It's like, what did they really improve on cars since then? I guess, I don't know, self-driving.
Gas mileage.
All this bullshit that we don't need.
Yeah.
I don't even know how much gas mileage is improved because those Toyotas, dude, I swear they just lied about the gas mileage because, bro, I drove to New York and back on $68 in my 95 Civic.
Wow.
And I've rented a brand new Toyota Corolla and it costed more.
Yeah.
So how much,
Well, now I think it's all hybrid and stuff, so you get like 50 miles a gallon or something.
But you're still spending. I spent more money on gas, dude.
Right.
And it wasn't that long ago. Gas was around the same price.
Yeah.
It's crazy that, like, I don't know. I don't really believe all the hype, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
And then these cars they're made to break nowadays. I think if we need to go back to the basics, like give me some crank windows, dude. I didn't mind it that much.
Yeah.
How hard was it to go like this for 3 seconds?
Yeah, and you knew that it was always going to work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How many? If it rains, you hit your switch. Oh, my window don't go up now.
Yeah.
Time to drop $900.
Yeah, I had the window in my car. It was the electric windows, but one of them stopped working. But I knew the trick where you had to go up, down, up. It was like doing a code on a video game.
Wow.
And it's like, yeah, you end up in a fucking thunderstorm and doing
these new video games, I can't even play them. I can't believe how hard they got.
Yeah.
They have them on the ships. Like, what is it, the PS4? I think there's even a new one now. PS5.
Yeah.
Dude, the PS4 is crazy.
They got video games on cruise ships.
Yeah.
Just like that people are just like a communal video game.
Yeah, it's like the workers down in the crew bar. Yeah.
Right.
They'll play like soccer. It's crazy. Bro, I'm sitting there watching. Because it's wireless controllers. And I'm sitting there watching the soccer game. I realized after about 35 minutes, I was like, who's playing? They go, him. I'm like, oh.
Oh, wow.
Dude, I was like, this isn't even real.
Wow.
How crazy is that, dude? When's the last time you played a video game? Like a new one, not
I don't know. I'm like 3 years behind on video games, but I'm aware of everything.
PS2. Yeah, you stay aware
But
of
just
stuff.
think about this, though, is that those guys who are playing that video game, those guys are from the fucking Philippines. So this is like incredible technology to them.
Yeah.
It's incredible to you. This is very incredible to them.
Yeah.
Those guys just, learned about electric toothbrushes.
Yeah, they need to get a fishing game for them.
Yeah, right? Nah, but think about how psyched the guy must be to get on that boat, play some FIFA.
Yeah, dude, and the soccer, yeah, especially they're into it. Yeah, there's a line for the games.
Yeah.
They got Mario Kart too. They got a few games. I don't know.
Right.
Dude, that's crazy. See, I've never been to the Philippines, so I couldn't even guess what it would be like. I know my one friend from the Philippines told me they get so sad to leave their family. They're like, I have to do this to send money back, but I was like, well, that's cool. And then he goes, yeah, and he's naming his family. And dude, it was like, I was like, all right, man, well, I gotta go, dude. It was like, bro, I can't believe how many people live with him.
Wow.
Like,
You don't gotta tell me everybody.
yeah, it's like, bro, it's like 26 names.
These are brothers or cousins or yeah.
Well, he's got 11 kids.
Wow.
Yeah, dude. And then his brother.
See, deep down, that guy's kind of excited to get away from all that.
Yeah, I guess so.
I mean, you're sad, but you're not. I mean, there's also like, all right, this is kind of nice.
Yeah, he was like, yeah, I got only 11. I was like, dude, only? Like,
Wow.
what are you talking about?
Yeah, that's how you end up with Manny Pacquiao.
My friend, dude, speaking of technology, dude, my friend's in the military. He's in Japan. He stays in Japan. Like,
Yeah.
he just wants to stay there because he said they're 10 years ahead of us. He's like, bro, I haven't seen them in forever. He's like, wait till you see the cell phones you guys are going to be getting.
Right.
And it's like, well, how do you got different stuff there than we have here? Like,
Well, they don't have better phones, but they have better everything else.
Like, what is better? Andy said they build new houses like every 2 years.
Yeah, it's like better toilets.
Huh.
It's like your watch is better, your toothbrush is better.
Well, why don't we got that stuff here?
People don't, people are more resistant to it here. People in Japan, they're more like, I think in America, people get more suspicious. You've seen like they have like delivery robots on the street now for food.
Oh, yeah, in Cali?
Yeah, people are like kicking them over and pissing on them.
Right.
They wouldn't do that in Japan. They'd have respect for
Yeah.
They'd be like, oh, hell yeah, we got a new way to do things. But in America, I feel like people are still kind of resistant to when there's some new shit.
Yeah, he was telling me about the McDonald's in Japan. The people are wearing like dress shirts and like it's like a restaurant, McDonald's.
See, that's the thing is that when I see a lot of people make this mistake about Japanese culture and American culture. In that guy's head, he's thinking, oh, in 10 years, people in America are going to be wearing dress shirts at McDonald's. Not true.
Right.
And people in 10 years, people are going to look much, much worse in America. But the McDonald's will be more technological.
Yeah.
So it's like the reason why they do that works in Japan is that Japanese people have that kind of mentality.
Yeah.
Of I got to look nice. I'm in public. I got to be presentable.
Yeah.
Whereas in America, we have the mentality of I don't give a fuck.
Right.
I'm coming outside in pajamas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm an American.
No, well, it's like, yeah, I paid to be here. I can dress whatever the fuck I want, which I kind of get the logic of it. But it's like, no, there's going to be, no matter how far into the future we get, there's always going to be sloppy people. You know what I mean?
He told me the way their construction is and the way their jobs and their car system works is that like every 3 years they will actually tear down the house. I can't even go move there. Like I can't even be a citizen of Japan. He told me. But he's like, yeah, they'll tear down the house completely and rebuild a new house very fast, and it's brand new, and everything there is brand new, and your car is brand new every few years.
Yeah, well, it's like, oh, he's probably kind of a nice area, but it's like there's just not as much. In like New York City, if you wanted to add a level to your house, you got to bribe like 10 guys.
Yeah.
And you got to get some union shit. And you got to somehow cajole some immigrants into helping you do it.
Right.
In Japan, they got that kind of stuff, figured out.
Yeah, I don't see why we won't just copy their motto. Or why won't
because it's America, and you got to bribe 10 guys.
Is there
those 10 guys want to get bribed?
That's funny. Is there conspiracy people in Japan or no?
Yeah.
But the places are also small too, right? Like it's like New York. It's very compact.
It's very compact and things are close together. And a lot of people don't have cars and they're not,
But you don't need
big ass
that
pickup
space.
trucks.
Right.
Yeah.
You don't need you really don't need that space. Like I Googled when he was telling me about it, I Googled apartment in Japan and the stuff's just put properly. Like
it makes sense. It's more like, shelf under the bed, shelf up here, things built into the wall.
Yeah.
Yeah, the thing is built in.
Yeah.
And it's just a more thoughtful way to do it. Whereas the reason why stuff like that doesn't work in America is that people in America want more than they need. They want to have a bunch of shit. Huh. They want to be one guy who has a pickup truck who has nothing in the pickup truck. It's just like, this is a big ass truck and I bought it.
Dude, you're right.
Ford F-250 whatever. And it's like, yeah, I just got, this is me.
Yeah, and it's like, oh, damn, dude, that's cool. What do you do? Oh, I'm an IT guy.
He's got a big ass truck with a gun in it.
Right.
He's not shooting anybody.
Yeah,
he's got nothing to carry.
Yeah, no.
Nah, this is just because I could.
Yeah, it's legal.
It's like if you go to Texas or something and people have these big ass cheaply made houses. It's like, why do you need all that house? Because it's there.
Have you ever been to Japan?
Yeah, a bunch of times when I was a kid.
What part have you been to?
All over when I was
What's the part to visit?
I mean, Tokyo is a lot like New York City, so it's big city vibes.
Damn, I didn't know Tokyo's in Japan, dude.
What'd you think it was?
China?
Ah, wow.
Oh, yeah.
You got some learning to do. See, you just got to the smart part of TikTok. You got to stay on there for a while.
They don't teach us that
You'll
stuff
learn
in
some
school.
shit. Right.
You know, why wouldn't they teach us
I wonder.
that
I guess
stuff?
they never sat down in school and told me where Tokyo was. But I think I figured it out. I don't know. I don't think I looked it up, but I think, I must have learned that one somewhere.
Wow.
But yeah, anyway, Tokyo is like big city vibes, and then you can go into the countryside, and then you're in like, rural countryside Japan. But even like, countryside there isn't like, poverty or something. It's just like, it looks real clean and nice.
Is there any ghettos there? What do they do with their poor people? They kill them?
There's just not as much poverty. And it's like, I think there is poverty, but it's like, it's the kind of culture where you just live with your family forever.
Really?
Yeah. So people just, you grow up in a house and you might just stay there until you get married.
Wow.
And then you have that one bum-ass brother who just lives with his parents forever.
Do you think that there's like a higher AI in Japan than we have here? Like, is it illegal to have that here? Or no, probably not.
No, like I was saying, people in Japan, I think in Japanese culture, they just embrace that kind of technology faster, where they're not as suspicious of like privacy stuff. Whereas here, there's like weirdo conspiracy guys who are like, I don't want to give information to that thing because then they're going to get you.
Yeah.
Which I think there's some logic to that. Whereas in Japan, it's like, fuck it. I'll pay with my phone.
Dude, I remember some of these guys where I'm from in Ohio, bro. These guys are like, a guy's telling me, oh, your TV? Yeah, there's people watching you through
China's
this TV.
watching you.
And it's like, bro, who is going to have this amount of time to watch me through my TV, picking in my nose and whatever? Like, dude, nobody's watching you on your TV, bro. Like, come on.
Yeah. But like we were talking earlier before the podcast about like 23andMe. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's some people here who are just like, whatever that is, I can't explain why that's dangerous, but it is.
I'm one of them.
Whereas I think people, and some other cultures are like, whatever.
I'm mad that I didn't know if somebody in your family does it, then they know who you are. I just don't. I'm like, I don't know about all that. Like, I'm not trying to have my DNA all out there, find out I got like 17 kids. I told you I knew a guy. He did his, and next thing he knew, somebody hit him up and said, yeah, they were his son.
Wow.
He told me, he's like, dude, you believe I got a son, man, and he's gay?
Man.
He told me.
Jeez.
I was like, dude,
I wonder how fast he found that second thing out. Was he excited at first, and then it was like, they giveth and they taketh away.
Yeah.
Can't have nice things in this country.
Dude, that is crazy, man.
You wouldn't want to know you have kids though?
I would. I guess I would. I don't know.
I mean, like, it's one thing. I get you wouldn't want to pay for them, but it's like you would want to know, right?
I mean, I guess I would want to know that now that I'm getting older, but then the thing is, what good's going to come from it, honestly? Like, I don't know. Maybe it's a bad thing. Like, what if I break up a girl's marriage over it,
it's just so I think the reason why people do it is that they're so curious because it's like you can talk to your grandparents and your grandparents can, like, if they still have their marbles, they can tell you about their grandparents, but it cuts off pretty early.
Yeah.
You think about how far back you actually know about your family. 4 generations max.
Well, what about guys like my family all came from Italy? Is that
that's what they told you?
But would the 23andMe know?
Yeah,
it would know for sure.
Yeah, I mean, it would tell you basically because everybody's doing it. So now they have a whole database. They'd be able to link you to other people. But it's like they'd be able to tell you, oh, you're actually not Italian. You find out you're, Chinese.
Somebody told me I'm the second cousin of the guy from The Sopranos once.
Which one?
The star.
Oh, wow. James Gandolfini.
Yeah.
Wow, I could see that.
Yeah, that's crazy. I don't know how, but it was a kid I grew up with. And
how does he know?
Well, he knows him, and he was like, we found out we were cousins.
Oh, wow.
So he's like, yeah, he goes, that's your cousin or whatever. He's like, that's our. Somehow he knew him. He's like, that's my dad's cousin.
See, if you took that test, you would be able to find out though. Wouldn't that be cool?
You think James Gandolfini took it?
One of his brothers did or something, or
How crazy is that? I would hate it if I did it, and then you get like the CIA knocking on your door, and they're like, "Yeah, your cousin murdered 75 people."
Yeah, that's how they're getting killers now.
Right.
That anytime they get the DNA test on something, it's like they actually, because before 23andMe, if they got that DNA from a crime scene, it's like you better hope you find that exact same blood sample in another crime scene.
Yeah.
Then you can link it together. But now it's like, no, they just got it and you're in.
Yeah, like I've had cousins that we don't, I don't really talk about it too much, but I have cousins that spent 15 years in prison.
Right.
It's like I never really Googled to see what they do. Every time I ask them, they're like, some bullshit.
They got me.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it's like, I don't know. I know what they got caught on, but I don't know what they actually did.
Yeah, they probably did some other dirt.
I seen my cousin one time running with a baseball bat at like 3 a.m. I tried to pick him up for a ride. He's like, "You don't want me in your car."
Wow. It's a good cousin if you think about it.
It was a second cousin. I had a few of them, man. I had one cousin that he got pulled over one time. His parents, think about how fucked up these parents are. This is a second cousin of mine. This is like goes to the relation of the Gandolfini guys.
Yeah.
But his parents were like, "Yeah, bring this spaghetti sauce to your neighbor," and there was all this coke in it, and he got pulled over.
Wow.
And the car was stolen. It's like,
wow.
are you kidding me?
Jeez.
Yeah, and he had to take the fall. He was 16.
Got locked up?
Yeah, I think he was 16. And I think he turned his mom in over it, but it's like,
wow.
At that point, she could just deny it,
Yeah.
But Frankie, he used to go steal cars for fun. He'd pull up, like, "Yo, look at this car I just bought," and it'd be a Stoli, and we'd be driving around in it.
Wow.
He's like, "Yeah, man." He told me, "Dude, you know how easy it is to steal any car?
Oh yeah.
Bro, you take a screwdriver, literally.
You just wiggle it around.
Pull that thing back. First thing you got to do is pop off the top of the steering wheel. You have a hammer and a screwdriver, you could steal any car. I don't know about a Tesla, but you bypass the whole ignition. It comes out where the key goes in.
Yeah.
And it's so easy. You just turn a screwdriver, start it up.
Right.
You could steal a car in seconds.
Yeah, but it's like, I mean, once you have the car, I think that's what happens next.
Well, that's why you're supposed to have a club still to this day. Like, did you just see the police put out a warning? They go, "Hey, if you drive a Toyota or a Honda, there's major thieves stealing them right now. Put a
Well, there's like TikTok trends that happen where it's like one person figures out, "Hey, I figured out how to steal a Hyundai."
Yeah.
You just press this one button, and then it's like everybody who has that car is totally screwed.
Yeah. Dude, I seen it on TikTok too. Yeah, you could easily bust that shit, the ignition.
Yeah.
But I already knew that before, but
Well, I think like with all this like 23andMe stuff and with all the cameras everywhere and GPS tracking, it's like it's still easy to commit crimes, but it's much, much harder in the long run to get away and to know that you got away. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, and I'll tell you what I hate. One thing I really do hate is how these crime shows are teaching thieves the best way to do it. Like,
right.
Dude, you watch TikTok and they'll be like, "Yeah, well, we had trouble finding him because somehow he knew." Like, okay, they'll do this on a crime show. They'll be like, "Oh, so we found him because even though he turned off his cell phone, he still had it in the car and it pinged off towers."
Yeah.
Now every murderer knows, "Oh, make sure to leave my phone at home." Murder this guy, and it's like, why teach them how to do it?
My theory, though, too, is that some of these crime shows are actually backed by the cops, and the cops are trying to give you bad information, so you think that you're smart, but you're not.
Wow.
You know what I mean? It's like this is one of my first jokes, stand-up. But like, remember like when you're watching a movie and somebody has a gun and they shoot the gun and they have to like dump the gun, so they like breathe on it and they go like this to wipe the fingerprints off? There is no way that works.
I never knew that.
I'm just thinking logically. There's no way your DNA isn't still on the gun. But I bet cops want you to think that you can just wipe a gun off.
Yeah.
So that you think you do that, and then the cops are like, "No, we got your breath on the gun."
See, what I think is we got technology that's not legal for the cops to use, but they use it anyway. And then they just got to figure out, okay, how do we pin it?
Oh, yeah.
Because they'll build those crime scenes for 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
You may think you got away with some shit.
Well, they're not going to admit that your phone is recording you the entire time.
Right.
Facebook doesn't want to admit that, but even though it is. And so they know you did it, but they can't prove it yet.
Did you see how people just could put a wiretap? They'll be like, "Yeah, so we tapped his phone." And it's like, bro, the phone's been tapped. You didn't show up with a wire in the house.
Yeah.
You pressed a button.
Yeah. It's
And you
just
heard it.
it's just some computer hacker got into the phone.
And the Google searches, bro. They caught one guy. He was Googling
Yeah.
how to get rid of a body. And
Oh,
it's like,
yeah,
bro,
yeah.
you don't Google that shit.
Yeah, incognito browser.
Yeah. If that even works, I don't know.
Yeah, who knows? That might just be a lie this whole time.
You know, me, when you talk technology, I always wonder, like, what's going on the dark web, the incognito browsers. Like, you ever hear about, like, red rooms and stuff, and people go, oh, I was on the dark web, and then somebody sent me a picture of myself. It's like, how is there that? You think that's real, or you think that's made up?
That's real.
Like, if I went on the dark web, somebody would be able to be like, oh, this is you right here.
Well, I mean, like, there's a camera. If you're on your computer, there is the webcam that's facing you. That's why people put a piece of tape over it.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, there's probably a camera on your TV, and there's a camera obviously on your phone.
You think there's a camera on the TV?
Some TVs.
Really?
Yeah, and there's cameras. If you have a smartwatch, if you're walking by, there's ring cameras everywhere now,
Yeah.
and all that stuff. It's all connected to Wi-Fi, so it can get hacked.
Dude, that's crazy.
Yeah, but what's scary about that sort of thing is that you don't know. You think you know that if you've been hacked because you realize the money's gone from your account.
Yeah.
You don't know how many people are just poking around in there.
Yeah, I told you I got hacked so dumb, dude. Bought my very first computer. Actually, it was my second computer because I left one on the train like a dumbass. And I bought another one. And get some pop-up. I don't know how this happened.
Yeah.
I got some Microsoft thing, or they called me. And, dude, I fell for it. And I end up, it says call this number. It looked like legit Microsoft. I call, and they're like, oh, yeah, we'll take care of us. Read us the number on the back of your computer.
Wow.
Okay, screen sharing. I'm doing it. And then I get screwed. The guy fucked me, cleaned out my bank account.
Wow.
I don't even know how he did. It was right before Christmas, too. And then I was kind of a piece of shit growing up. Like, I never would save the money for Christmas. And I was always kind of broke, to be honest with you. Like, real broke. Couldn't afford face soap and shit like that. Socks. So, Christmas presents, I wanted to give people stuff. But, we're struggling. Comedians in New York.
Right.
Like, and I remember, dude, people were always like, I was like, this year I'm getting everybody presents to make up for it. And I had like $2,300.
Wow.
And then it was 2 days before Christmas. And I got cleaned out.
Did you get the money back?
Yeah, but it took like 3 weeks. They don't just give you that money right away. That's what sucks.
Right.
Like, you think you get cleaned out, you'll get it right away. No.
Right, yeah.
You're done for a little bit. It's good to have a stash put away somewhere.
The fact that you could get it back, though, is pretty nice. You got to admit that.
No, it is.
Compared to
God.
dropping $2,300 cash.
I mean, it all depends on how you do it. There is ways where you don't get it back. I almost got scammed with that, the Craigslist thing where they go, yeah, we'll pay you to do this. We'll give you the check and you just got to cash it and send us some back.
Yeah, we accidentally paid you too much. And then yeah.
And then, dude, you don't get it back then.
Right.
They're like, hey, man, you're too stupid. We get that you got scammed here, but this one, you're too dumb. I know a girl that did it so dumb I feel bad for her. Real pretty girl, two of them. They both got scammed hard. And they had some guy hitting them up saying, yeah, you're so beautiful. I want to just be your sugar daddy. And then they cleaned out their bank accounts.
Wow.
Sent them the money. They sent it back. You're donezo.
It's funny, though. It's like before the pod, you got that email from that influencer company.
Yeah.
And it's like everything now, we're so on guard for scams. And they know that we're on guard for scams. So you get the scam email that says, this is not a scam. And it's like you feel like it still feels scammy, so you don't follow through with it. But if they do that, if they send out 1,000 of those messages, there's going to get a few people that are going to come back on it.
Well, see, I think what people are thinking, they'll get somebody for sure. But, it's getting so techy and so it's getting easier to scam. You'd think with all the tech stuff, it'd get harder to scam, but now it's even easier. Like that type of thing, or like even like with this AI stuff, like, dude, we can get scammed by our own president and it's AI.
Yeah.
Like you showed me some stuff and it's like, it's crazy. I would almost believe that if I see it on TikTok. Yeah. Biden saying something.
Yeah. Well, the fact too is that people are getting all their information off of TikTok. Right. And there's just people, as much as you can criticize, mainstream news, it's like at least there's somebody whose job it is to do this. Whereas TikTok, it's like, this is just some guy.
Right.
He has no obligation to tell you the truth. He's just trying to get a view from you.
Well, yeah, I don't know if this is true, but didn't Obama pass something where it's okay to lie on the news to keep public calm?
You heard this on TikTok?
Yeah.
No, I don't think it is. See, what sucks is that, like, I don't know what is it about when you see something on TikTok that makes you think this is true versus this is not true?
I don't know.
You just you go off your gut, or do you actually like?
Yeah, I guess so.
Where it's like they tell you like do your research, and then it's like you watch a TikTok video and it seems weird. They're like, do your research, watch this other TikTok video, and it's like, yeah, that's your research. It's more TikTok.
Yeah, I guess I don't know.
You're not getting closer to the truth.
Yeah, I need to just stop watching TikTok for my news.
Yeah.
I'm not the only one. People will be
of course, yeah.
They'll be spitting facts to you. They'll be like, dude, Trump, look up Trump. He's the biggest buyer of cow eyes. And,
Yeah.
and they'll really believe it. What's he doing with those eyes?
Yeah, they show you some like article that they just clipped up and they highlighted it or something, and it's like, look, I'm not telling you should just believe everything you see on the news, but life is so much easier for you if you just watch regular news and just take it at face value.
Yeah.
I mean, I get you're going to get lied to on some stuff, and there's, the government might start to sell you on a war or something, but for your own mental health, you are so much better just watching regular TV.
What do you think the next big thing to come out is? Like, even with TVs, I wonder what type of TVs they got in Japan.
It's the same TVs.
Remember we had those 3D TVs for a while? I think they did away with those.
That didn't catch.
Yeah.
I mean, the technology in Japan isn't like for like a consumer stuff like a TV or a computer. They have Apple in Japan. Apple is Apple.
Right.
So it's not like they have a better iPhone than us. It's just more thoughtful. It's like a microwave is better.
Wow.
Yeah. But like a TV, well, you ever get like a microwave and then you go to someone's house who's rich and they have like a nice microwave?
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, I didn't even think a microwave. I wouldn't even think to do this with a microwave. And this shit, that's what they got in Japan.
Did you see those fridges that will tell you when it's running low on shit?
Yeah. And you think, I don't need that. And then you have it and you're like, of course I need that.
Yeah.
This is nice. I
know the nicest fridge I've seen in person was a long time ago. The first time I realized that they make fridges real nice. Because I never left Ohio. So whatever they had at Home Depot in Ohio, I wasn't going online. I just figured, wow, this is the best fridge.
Couldn't get better than this.
And I showed up one time. It was Best Buy, I think, actually. And, dude, I showed up. It was like the height of Kelly Pavlik, the world champ. He's from my hometown. It was his career. And I was like, so the hype of his career, world champion boxer. I walk in, I'm like, damn, what type of fridge is this? And they're like, oh, that's a special order. Kelly Pavlik bought that like 4 months ago, and we can't get a hold of him. He never came to pick it up.
Whoa.
It was like a $10,000 fridge or something crazy.
Wow.
And it had a TV on it then in 2007 or something, 2010.
Jeez.
And it had like, all this crazy shit. Like
crushed ice.
Yeah, but even more than that, dude. It had like legit like
compartments and
TVs
stuff.
And like
an
instant freeze thing.
Oh, yeah.
Like it's like crazy. And he just left it there. He never picked it up.
Wow.
Dude bought a fridge, never picked it up.
Well, I just think too, like in our head, you think like, 10 years from now, when you say like, oh, what we're going to have. Even now, though, it's not like people have the same stuff. You know what I mean?
If you're rich, of course.
Exactly. In 10 years, poor people are still going to be pretty poor. You might have like a slightly better TV, or you might be able to afford a nicer phone, but your life is still going to be kind of shit. In 10 years.
Sadly.
I mean, like a rich person now is still going to have a better life than a poor person will in 20 years.
But what blows me away is like we're just looking at the cars from even like 19, I don't know, like, dude, look at the difference from the how fast it sped up from like 1979 to 1981.
Right.
It's like just 2 years.
Yeah. Just the design.
Yeah, everything that started putting computers in them. In 79, you get a 79 Camaro, it's just a car, probably not even fuel injection.
It's just V8.
And then you get an 81 Toyota Corolla, computers,
yeah.
all this stuff within 2 years.
Right.
And then from that point on, it's insane. Like self-driving cars, like what do you think is going to happen even in 2 years from now?
Right.
Like now, especially we got AI, dude. Like what is that? The quantum computer, is that a thing now? Do we have that?
Yeah. That's just like a really powerful computer.
And it's like, I wonder what's going to happen with this, like the fact that you could just ask AI stuff and it could tell you.
Yeah, I mean that's going to change a lot of people's jobs. But like even with cars, I think the era of like there being like when there's like a new car every year and they're like, oh, have you seen the new Mustang or something? I think that's going to be drawn to a conclusion at some point. Where I think in the future, once we get to self-driving cars, people aren't going to identify with their car so much,
right?
Because you're just going to get in the car. It's going to be more like a taxi. I think it's just going to be all the cars are going to be self-driving, and it's going to be just like you press it, you order the Uber, and the Uber shows up, no driver. You get in, and it takes you to the place.
I wonder if it'll ever get to a point where people just get rid of cars completely.
Oh, you still got to get around.
But like like they personally won't own one. No,
I think that's where it's going. I think
to where people are going to be like, oh, I don't.
Everybody's taking Uber.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be interesting. I know, like, because if you own an Uber, or if you owned a car, and you could just be like, all right, I'm going to let the car go work for me and make money, that would be crazy.
Right, yeah. Whoever has it.
They'd have to regulate it. Like, it would only be rich people, or cars would get so expensive, which they're already getting there, dude. You see the price of a new truck, dude?
Oh, yeah.
$100,000.
Yeah.
It's insane, bro.
Yeah. Well, people now are just like, the kind of car notes people are getting. It's wild.
Dumb.
It's like the banks, they'll give it to you. But
right.
You end up paying $900 a month for the rest of your life.
Yeah, if you're lucky, dude. Somebody was telling me their car payment with insurance is like $1,900 for this new truck they bought.
Jesus Christ.
And they had bad credit. And then it's like they lost their business because they couldn't afford the rent of their shop.
Wow.
And it's like, dude, what are you doing now? They were like trying to rebuild engines.
Right.
And it's like, dude, you can't. Why would you make your car payment that much? It's so dumb. Like, I worked at a car dealership. Some people will legit just lose money and they don't care. Like, they're like, oh, I got to get the new car.
Right.
And as soon as you buy a car off the showroom floor, you instantly lose about $10,000 or $20,000.
Right.
The second you drive it off.
Yeah.
It's a waste, man. Like, if you weigh out, if these cars are driving themselves, how much would an Uber be? $20?
That's true.
Parking. I think we're going to get to a point to where everywhere is a big city. And I think it's going to be owned by Disney. Dude, it's crazy. Disney got this. Did you see the new this would be a cool invention, honestly, and it'll probably come out. I was watching the Buzz Lightyear movie.
Wow, okay.
Great movie, by the way.
Okay, yeah.
Let me just say this.
Wow, I didn't think it was going to be good, but
no, dude, you got to watch it. And they have this cat. It's going to be the newest toy coming out, and it's like a companionship. It's a robot, but you could give it a problem, and it'll try to solve it forever. It never gives up. It'll keep figuring out the problem. Like, so he was like, I need you to fix this fuel problem. And like, he was like traveling. So with him going out to space and coming back, it would mess up the time, and he'd be like traveling the speed of light, and he'd come back and everybody'd be old. But like, the cat for 300 years just tried to solve this problem and finally did it. And I really think that's where computers are going to go one day. Because they're never going to die.
Wait, this is a movie, though. Right?
This is a movie. But just for example.
Why is the cat? Why would it be a cat?
Well, it's a computer. It's AI.
Oh, okay.
It's an artificial intelligent animal. And you just tell it, what's this? Solve this. But the thing with these computers is, like humans, like Nikola Tesla, imagine if he never died. Like,
right.
Imagine the inventions we'd have. These computers aren't going to die. When you get AI to really want to solve something without needing a human, let that shit go. Let 500 years go. That thing's going to find the answer, bro.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean?
It won't even take 500 years.
Right.
You'll just come back the next day, and it's already done and moved on to the next thing.
That would be insane, too.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. It depends on the problem, I guess.
Anytime all these people now are getting like, there's so much like alarmism. People are getting, Elon Musk is warning everybody that AI is going to take over and kill us, and people are worried about their job losses and everything. It's like, get over it.
Right.
Just let's let this shit rip. No one's saying that. Everybody is so scared of this, and there's so much hype, but it's just like, All right, let's see what happens.
Yeah, he's
I'm
like,
down.
we got to regulate it. What could AI do?
It can do anything, but it's like, let's see if it can actually do what we think it can do.
I mean, how's it going to kill us, though? I don't understand what everybody's worried about.
Well, I mean, like, you ever see, like, remember Aliens? When the guy does the thing where you put your hand on a table and you have a knife and you go, this. I mean, a robot would never miss.
Right.
Humans would miss.
Right.
So imagine you make that robot box.
I mean,
that
we
robot's
can't
not
do
gonna. That robot's not gonna miss.
We could make AI, but let's not give it arms and legs.
Hey, what if it gives itself arms and legs?
That's crazy.
Of course, it's gonna give itself arms. We can give it arms. It can do whatever we can do. So of course, it can do it itself.
I can't even wrap my head around this, to be honest with you. If it's just a computer, but I guess it's never gonna be because we already started inventing robots.
Well, just think about what you ever seen what a 3D printer looks like.
Right. That
People
is
have
insane.
it's like liquid plastic. It just sort of zaps it in.
Yeah.
And eventually you have like a ball or you have like a little screwdriver or something. Once AI controls the 3D printer, it just prints itself the arm and the attachment, and then it,
Wow.
The reason it can do that is because we can do it. It can do the same reason you can, build a car. AI would be able to build that car.
I guess I see why Elon's worried about it now.
My thing, though, is let's just see it happen.
But what if robots did start taking over?
Then maybe it deserves to take over.
And it's just time for us to be done.
Well, I think the first thing it's going to do is solve all of our problems first. So it's like, let's let it at least get to that point before we start cutting off its arms. But it's like, let's not stop now.
Do you think it'd be smart enough to lie to us so we think it's solving the problem, but it's actually making it worse for us?
It's already lying to us now. If you're using ChatGPT, it's just, the thing is designed to give you an answer, not designed to give you the correct answer.
Wow.
It just spits an answer back at you, and it's most likely correct because it's.
But what good's that do if it's the wrong answer? Like,
what good's a human do if it gives you a wrong answer? You have to verify the information.
Yeah,
like,
but how much is it going to help us, really, if it's like it'll just...
I mean, anything you could ask a human to do, the AI can do much faster and generally more accurately.
I wonder...
But it's also like, you got to think, if you go to a doctor and, MRI and the doctor's looking for tumors in your body, that's just a doctor who's having a long day. It's some old Indian guy who's like,
Right.
his eyes are fucked up from looking at papers for 30 years.
Wife's cheating on him.
His wife's cheating on him. He's stressed out. He's got a cold. And he's the one who's got to look through your x-ray piece by piece and just happens to catch that one place where it's shaded a little different than the other places.
Yeah.
AI would just do that. Which one would you trust more?
I'll tell you what I always wonder about doctors sometimes. I get to see people, like nowadays it's openly okay to be racist against white people. Like, I get it. But, people will tell you, like, right to your face, like, I didn't want to laugh at you because, you're white. And,
Yeah.
I wonder if there's any doctors, like, I get it why everybody hates us. But do you think that there's, like, just because you're a doctor doesn't mean you're not racist? Do you think there's some Indian doctor somewhere that's like,
Well, just think, that guy grew up in India. He probably came from like a poor family, and
Right.
like he worked his way up to be a doctor, and then finally his family sends him to America, probably to go to MIT or something, and gets his doctorate, and then he just has to go help out some fat fucking American guy
right.
who hurt himself eating cheeseburgers. Do you think this guy isn't a little bit mad?
And they're like, dude, you've been eating the cow.
Yeah.
Dude, well,
Well,
what
it's
about...
not even that, but the guy's just like, this is what he's got to deal with, some fucking oxy patient.
Well, I don't know much about history, but speaking of, like, we did a podcast before where we were talking about people fighting each other.
Yeah.
Wasn't there a big thing with, like, India and British people or something?
Yeah.
Like, imagine you're this Indian guy and your grandfather told you for years, oh, yeah,
This guy was
Brits,
spitting on
they
me.
raped your mother.
Oh, yeah.
And then you go to this thing, and then it's like, oh, yeah, no, you're fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, imagine if, like, it would be like having a Native American doctor here.
Oh, my God. Can you
It's
imagine?
like, hey, this might be a nice guy, but it's also like, all right, it would be a little bit justified if he takes it out on me.
Yeah, I wouldn't blame him. Okay, actually, to solve this problem, I got to scalp you.
All right, we're cutting that out. But no, all this AI shit, I feel like anytime people have talked about, like, we got to save somebody's job, is that this machine is going to take somebody's job. That has never actually happened in life. It's happened, but that person is always, we've always been able to adapt as people. You know what I mean? It's like you washed cars for years. There are car wash machines.
Right. They're never going to do as good. But now, like you're saying, this new AI, I mean, dude, if you get I don't know if a robot will ever be able to clean a car good, because it's just, there's certain jobs I just don't.
Come on.
Dude, the inside, have you ever detailed a car?
No, I haven't.
Bro, you gotta really be looking, eyes. You gotta be careful in certain areas.
But there's the AI. It's gonna have cameras on it. It's got eyes.
It's not gonna do as good as a human. There's no way.
Oh man, this is gonna be so sad when you see how this works,
bro. This
is gonna be a lot of heartbreak in Ohio.
There's detail brushes. If you get something too wet, it's gonna mess up a switch. You gotta scrub the
AI
right
can fly a plane. You think it
But
can't wash a car?
flying a plane would be easier than detailing a car.
That's insane.
Dude, do you realize all the little intricate stuff? Like, you gotta take out the seats, the carpet. You know, you're doing some shit. Hand scrubbing each section.
Yeah, I don't know, dude. I will admit, you know more about washing cars, but no, I'm pretty sure that we can, with our finest technology, we'll figure out how to detail a Honda Accord.
I think there's gonna be. I mean, people would have to let it go and be like, I get it. It's not gonna be perfect, but
Yeah.
you know, it'd be probably cheaper. But there's always gonna be rubble jobs, like demolition man. There's gonna be some jobs. Like, what do you think the jobs are that the robot can't do that we would need a human for? You can't say a doctor because isn't though they have technology?
Oh, there's gonna be
out
robot doctors for
right,
sure.
that I'm for sure. Like,
Yeah.
they have a toilet now that I think if you pee in it, it could give you it's like a doctor's visit.
Yeah. Yeah, like you were saying, not trash removal.
Oh yeah,
That's
we
gonna
do
be
trash
removed.
removal.
But
Food delivery, these things, bro, bring that to New York. Everybody's eating. You think
Right.
anybody's going to respect these robots?
well, I think at some point the robots will be able to defend themselves. It's
Yeah.
gonna be drones or something.
Yeah, the drones are crazy.
I mean, like, honestly, people have, like, when ChatGPT came out and everybody was so excited about AI, they kept trying to write jokes, and the jokes were never funny. I think anything that actually involves creativity and having to come up with ideas, the AI is never actually going to be that good at it.
That's smart.
It can
Yeah, I
do
can
kind
see
of a
that.
shitty version of it, and it can help you do certain aspects of writing or music, but it'll never actually be able to make something that connects to people.
You need some sort of soul. Like, when you're talking singing, like a heart, like you want to
Yeah.
entertainment, there's going to be a thing to where it's like, this doesn't impress me. This is a robot. Like, robots playing basketball. It'd be
It
boring
wouldn't be
to me.
exciting
Yeah.
because that's not why you're watching basketball.
Right.
Exactly. But so much other stuff is going to be, yeah.
Honestly, I can't wait for it. But the one thing I am worried about is if these robots just really start crushing us like Terminator. I mean, that I wouldn't be excited for.
Yeah, but think about how many people are already killing each other like Terminator.
Yeah.
It's not like the robot. I mean, I think we got it coming at that point.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, we can't defend it. You can't kill a robot.
And who knows who's to say that we deserve to live more than the robot does, right? I think we got to get that kind of technology. That's the problem, is that people watch movies before the thing is actually real, and then they assume that what's going to happen is going to be like the movie.
Yeah.
But it's like, no, the movie, the reality hasn't been written yet. So let's get there first, then we'll deal with it.
Right.
Maybe we have to make new AI to fight the old AI.
Oh, yeah, you never know. We
Yeah.
have some positive AI. Or maybe it will just love us and not want to hurt us.
There's no real logical reason why it would try to kill us.
Right.
Yeah.
And does it even understand life? Maybe it knows it wouldn't exist without us.
Yeah, and it would be, there's nothing for it to gain from killing people.
What about, like, do you think we'll ever, I mean, it'd be so cool to be in a position to where the AI, like, what if this stuff really advances us, like, insane to where we're going to other planets in, like, 30 years?
Right.
You know, I wonder how, like, when you say you give it a problem, it's going to solve it, but it's not going to have the right answer. If you were to ask AI, listen, seriously, how can we create a civilization on Mars?
Right.
Or, like, you know, how can a human live forever?
Yeah.
Is there any way it could try to figure that out?
It would give you a bunch of ideas, but it wouldn't be able to do it for you.
Yeah.
The thing that's actually limiting us from going to Mars is not like a lack of know-how. It's a lack of actually doing it.
When
And-
you could say to a 3D printer, "Hey, design me this," and it could do it, that's gonna be, to me, that's because it's already getting there. These 3D printers are insane.
Yeah.
You could build a beautiful house with a 3D printer.
Right.
Have you seen some of the houses?
No.
It's insane, bro. I wonder what's the stuff people are putting in the printer. Cement? I don't even know. To
Right.
build the house with it.
Yeah.
I seen one guy did steps with plywood. They're beautiful.
Wow.
And it was just, it was so easy. He just bought a bunch of plywood, put the shit in the computer, and it cut them all out perfectly
Yeah.
to the exact specs. It's almost like, dude, I bet you a 3D printer built the pyramids. We probably
Wow.
had those back in the day.
Yeah.
They just created this stuff.
Well, you just think too when people talk about AI, about technology taking people's jobs. The pyramids were built by slaves, and it's like that's not better than AI.
Right.
Yeah, it'd be way better to have AI to do that instead of having to like enslave a bunch of people.
Now, do you think the computers will make us slaves?
Once
what would
again,
they even want from us?
exactly. We have the computer is more advanced than people. It's not going to try to harness human beings. It can do everything it needs to do on its own.
See, the crazy thing is, I'll tell you where we're going to run into some problem. It could be positive or it could be negative. But so all these jobs AI could do. So what? We won't have to work. My question is, who's going to be the John D. Rockefeller? Who's going to benefit? Because the greed comes into where they're like, hey, man, Dan, we got this computer.
Right.
Now, we got this robot. You could easily buy this and it'll go to work for you.
Right.
And make you money. But it's going to be like Amazon or big businesses. And they're going to be like, yeah, no, why would we give you this? We want, what are you going to do for money?
Right.
Or will we have to work? Will the AI start farming and we'll never have to work? We could use our minds for creativity because that would be our strong suit.
Yeah. I mean, people already think about how many jobs people have now, or think about how many people now don't know where their food comes from.
Right.
Think about how many people have jobs where they don't actually do anything physically and they don't lift anything, but they still have jobs. They still find something to do. So it's like the technology itself always benefits people more than it takes away.
Like farming. I'd say the most important job is farming because we need to eat.
Yeah.
Maybe get rid of eating meat and we keep our animals. I don't know. But if AI could just keep growing, do you think an AI can create a farm? Probably.
Yeah. Farming used to mean having a bunch of guys, usually probably slaves or something, in the fields picking stuff. Now that's like they have, a few guys with a big ass machine that picks all the crops for you. And it's like, of course AI is going to be able to figure out how to do that.
Yeah, and then farmers are going to be screwed. Dude,
No,
farming's such a big
Farmers won't
business.
have to be screwed. Farmers are going to be able to sit back and get the food,
But somebody's going to, so they'll buy the equipment.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's not necessarily the farmers the food will still be there, and we'll still get the food.
But the problem is the human greed. There's going to be some guy that's like, no, I want everything. I want to be the Massa Musa. I want to why should I help this dumb farmer out, this hillbilly, when I could just be rich and kick his ass to the street.
Right.
Make him a chimney sweep. That's when we'll all become chimney sweeps.
Yeah, it's true.
I have to have those jobs.
I think over time things are going to, for stuff like food, you think about it now, America has more food than it needs.
Right.
The world there's not a shortage of, even in the entire world, there's not a shortage of food. There's just a shortage of where the food is going.
Yeah.
So I think what's going to happen at a certain point is that one of these Rockefeller types is going to get so powerful that he's going to start worried that he's going to get paranoid that people are going to kill him because he's so powerful. And then he'll be forced to sort of share some of this stuff, I think.
Here's when they talk about overpopulating, dude, I fly all the time. We're nowhere near overpopulated. Not even in the U.S.
There's so much space.
Bro.
If you get in a car and drive.
Dude, you'll fly through Arizona or something.
Oh, yeah.
We need AI to figure out a way to make monopolize. If we could have big cities like New York everywhere, we would be we need more people, honestly.
Well, not even big cities, but just we got to fill all this space with something.
Yeah.
These empty-ass fields.
Yeah, it's like, dude, there's 500 miles I flew over where there wasn't nothing.
Yeah.
It's like crazy.
It's not even like that's a national park. That's just nobody bothered to do anything with this land.
I wonder why people like Bill Gates are like, yeah, overpopulation's such a problem.
Oh, well, now they're saying the opposite thing. With
Yeah.
that, it's underpopulation because people aren't having enough kids.
We've been listening to Bill Gates too long.
Well, the problem, I think, when we talk about overpopulation is that there's too many people in the wrong areas are having too many kids.
Yeah.
People in like sub-Saharan Africa are having like 10 kids.
Yeah.
And they can't really support them. Whereas people in America, where it's like they're just too neurotic to have children, aren't having kids. So in 100 years, there's going to be way less Americans and there's going to be way more people in these other countries.
I wonder why. I'm sure this is everybody wonders this, but why can't, like, even now they're watching the border in the U.S.
Yep.
Why can't we all just get along? Like, why can't
Right.
we bridge these countries together somehow? Why do we need Russia to be against us and this? It's like, come on, like, what is this shit?
Yeah. I think a lot of that stuff is going to go away too. Yeah, I think, honestly, you think about it, if you're like a billionaire in America and you think to yourself, I want to move to Russia, you can make that happen.
Right.
If you're a billionaire in Russia and you want to come to America, same thing. You can go to any country in the world if you have money. And so it's like, once you've moved to that country, are you still American?
What do you think?
Not really.
What do you think's holding us apart? Just money from wars or something? Or
It benefits people to keep things apart.
I wonder where the benefit is. It would benefit us way more to be together, though.
But I mean, like, there are certain people who are benefiting more from keeping things separate. The military contractors or
yeah, but look, that's exactly what it is, and it's like
big corporations.
Dude, what's the point? Like, why can't we all just get along? Is it great? Because, dude, what do we have? How many billions do you think is spent on military?
Oh, trillions. But like, they want to. There are people who stand to benefit from it, and they're always going to need countries where people are willing to work for $2 an hour.
Yeah,
just so they can support this other system. But it's like, if you actually flatten all that out, it'll actually just, those people won't be able to extract wealth from it.
I'm hoping AI does that. If AI brought us all together, I wouldn't mind if it controlled us a little.
Right, yeah.
I'd do it. I'd be like, bro, we don't need these
Let's see what happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's see. Here's the thing. We can argue right now about whether AI can wash a car. Let's fucking see it happen.
Right.
Let's just see. Maybe that'll be the game show of the future. It's just some guy in Ohio. Can you wash a car better than a robot?
Yeah.
I know where I'm going to put my money.
You're going AI?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
it's going to be like, the guy is barely going to put his shirt on, and AI is going to be like, I'm done. It's going to be moving on to the next car.
Yeah.
Well, this guy's going to have to smoke a cigarette.
That's true, too. Yeah, man, I'm excited for it, too. I want to see it happen, to be honest with you. And maybe... honestly, dude, I think it's going to speed up insanely because the computers we have now, it's insane. Like, remember the first a gateway computer? It did nothing. I think the biggest thing our first computer was able to do was, like, make a comic book. We were blown away that we're like, we could print this out, these pictures with words. Mm. Like, I don't know what else the computer was able to do other than that.
Right, yeah. And you had no idea at the time what it couldn't do.
Right.
Yeah.
And nowadays, it's like, look how far computers can. My MacBook, it blows me away the shit my MacBook could do.
Right, yeah.
And I barely even do anything. And these websites and shit.
Yep. Just think, though, in like 50 years, what if you're still on the cruise ships? And there's just like, there's still going to be cruise ship comedians. I'll tell you that.
You think in 50 years?
People are still going to be cruising.
Well, cruising's probably going to get bigger.
There's still going to be comedians. Oh, yeah. Well, I am not worried about. I think the stand-up comedy as a profession, I think it's going to get harder and harder. But there's always going to be cruise ships. They're always going to need a guy.
There's going to be a few things also. Like, this is something we talked about before too. Is about the speed up of making people famous. So I think pretty soon the problem's going to be everybody's going to be famous. Whatever comes out after TikTok is going to make people famous, everybody, in 6 seconds for nothing. Yep. Like, there's like, dude, I remember there was an influencer that everybody knew that everybody was blown away about because they were on the cruise ship with me. And, dude, it's like, what did they do? Like, I don't even know what this person did as an influencer.
It was like a hot girl. Or?
Yeah, it's just a cute girl.
Wow.
And people are like, that's so and so. Like, look at one that's hugely famous, Bricky Hill. I'm not knocking on her, but most of her videos are her like responding to the ignorant, gross stuff in her snap. People are calling her Grippy Hill and all this nasty shit. She's like a child.
Huh.
It's like, bro, but she was famous in 2 months. She blew up huge, extremely fast.
Wow.
You know, in a couple months. But I think, like, if you look at YouTube, Vine was pretty big, though. Maybe that's why they stopped Vine. People were getting famous too quick. But other than Vine, you had YouTube. Probably took you maybe 5 years to get famous on if you worked hard. And then you had Instagram, where people were getting famous in like 2 or 3 years. And then, dude, TikTok, people were getting famous in 2 or 3 months.
It's a month, yeah.
Yeah. And now they got to top that. There's no way they're going to come out with a platform where it takes you 11 years to get famous now.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to be, 60 seconds, your life is going to change.
Much, much faster. Yeah.
But then at that point, will famous be anything? Like, dude, imagine being famous in the 70s, the Dean Martin days and all that. That's when it was something. You meet the president. Now it's like, bro, these social media stars.
Now it's like, you just told me that influence. I don't even know what that is.
Bricky Hill? Dude, she probably makes more money than the president.
Yeah.
The person running our country, a 15-year-old girl makes more than.
Wow.
Yeah,
I have no idea. That's what's going to happen, though, with AI, is that I think there's going to be there's not going to be more famous people, because everybody's going to have their own version of it. You know what I mean? Everybody's going to be looking at a different version of the same thing.
Oh, yeah.
Where it's like you're going to be able to tell AI, we won't all be watching the movie together. We're all just going to tell AI what movie we want to see, and it'll make up like a unique movie for yourself.
Wow.
So when in the future, TikTok isn't going to be like all these people's accounts. It's just going to be, TikTok is going to be the AI generated thing, and it's just going to show you asses. What's
going to hurt way more than, comedians aren't going to be hurt as bad as movie makers.
Yeah.
Because AI I bet you right now, dude, they could make their own Disney movie on their own.
Yeah.
And it would be a great movie.
Yeah.
To where I wrote a few movies, and I think they're funny, but why the fuck would somebody watch my shit? There's no way it's as good as 20 billion. Or like 20 billion TikTok videos of with this person. Once AI gets to the point to where it could read your mind, like right now, like, dude, I'm telling you, I could almost think of some shit. You say it one time, your phone's listening.
Right.
Like if I talk about, what was I just talking about? I forgot what I was talking about, like cracking backs. I don't know where my phone is.
Yeah.
Dude, I was talking about cracking backs. I'm like, oh yeah, chiropractors cracking backs. I like seeing that. Now, dude, it's crazy. I wonder if, like, do you think they'll show me a back crack video? I don't know how much it's listening. If I seen a back crack video,
your TikTok is what? Stand-up comedy, girl, fight video,
people
dog.
Getting hurt. But look, cracking backs. Show me something about cracking backs, TikTok. I want to see. Oh, look, I got this. Whatever this is. It's all about AI, actually.
Wow.
Maybe it's not listening.
See Dave Ramsey in there?
Yeah, there's no cracking backs.
See, you think that now, but they know that that's what you're looking for. So they're going to wait for a while.
If I see something about cracking backs, I'm going to trip out. Yeah, I guess
it's funny that your TikTok looks... I never looked at someone else's TikTok like that.
That's when they say that your truth comes out, that's really what it is. Like, people say, oh, I don't know, like, it's, you can't hide your lies, like, in religion. People are going to find out who you really are. Now it's through TikTok.
Yeah.
Like, if you really want to see who somebody is, go through their TikTok.
What's going to happen, too, at some point in the next few years, I think, is that there's going to be a really big, like, data breach of TikTok, where everybody is going to be able to see what everybody else is watching.
Wow.
Where it's going to show, Imagine that. Imagine if that information wasn't private anymore,
Yeah.
and everybody could see what your algorithm looked like.
Well, that's the truth. Imagine when you go on a first date and you go, hey, instead of asking you questions about yourself, let's just switch phones for 10 minutes.
Oh man.
And then you're going to know everything about that person
Yeah.
instantly.
In perfect detail.
I tried doing that on a date, and the girl's like, we're not going to work out. You're invading my privacy.
Yeah, that is disgusting behavior.
I should have asked that.
Yeah, that is a fucking insane thing to do. I would think that you were gonna steal my bank account or something.
I guess that's interesting too. But yeah, I was like, let's swipe through each other's TikToks.
Oh my god.
It didn't work out.
Yeah.
That was it.
That girl went home and made a TikTok video about you.
Well, I'll tell you what, before she went home, she split half that expensive bill. She really thought she was. I'm like, on a date, I'll be honest, like, I'll say, let's meet up and let's hang out. And if you start pushing food, like, oh, I'm hungry, and it's our first date, I'm like, all right, I mean, I could eat too. What do you want to get? And I start off slow, like, you want to get like a slice of pizza or something small? No, I want to sit down and eat.
Thai food.
I know going in.
Yeah.
As soon as she says sit down and eat, I'm not paying.
Yep.
We're splitting it. And we start to do the date, and I'm like, unless she somehow wows me, I'm splitting. And you should always see their face. This one girl's like, I don't got the money. I'm like, well, I don't, why'd you say you were so hungry then?
Wow.
I'm like, I didn't offer to take you out.
See, AI is not going to fix that.
Yeah. That's one thing AI will actually, though, dude, companionship. Right now we got animals, but, dude, I very much think that we need companionship, but it's going to hurt us. There's so many guys that I know that are lonely, that live in a basement, got rashes on their face, and they're, like, just so lonely that they need an AI. Like,
yep.
We need, what's the Jetsons? Remember that maid they had?
Yeah.
Like, if you had something like that, then it's going to, I don't know, I feel like that it would help, but it's going to have more negatives. That guy should be pushed out and go into the world and enjoy life and meet people. But pretty soon, everybody's going to be in their little cube with their AI partner.
Yep.
And then that's going to be that. Like, do you think it'll ever get to a point to where people will be dating AI?
I mean, there's already people now who spend all their time playing video games. And that's basically going to be dating.
Oh, yeah, that VR porno shit. Dude, that shit is like, I don't understand. That's wrong. We don't even need that. Did porn need to get any better?
Well, now, AI porn, I mean, I've dabbled in it, and it is, like, incredible what you do.
Yeah.
Where it's like the way the TikTok learns what you want. I mean, imagine porn where it's like you're able to generate.
It's going to ruin people.
Yeah.
The drugs are only getting stronger.
Yep.
And it's like, I think that's what they talk about in the Bible when they say somebody's going to come along. That's the devil's AI probably.
Yeah.
Because whatever you like, it's going to just give you more of it.
Yep.
And whatever you're weak to. Like, dude, I don't mess with porn because, dude, it's like, I feel like if people watch a lot of porn, my friends that are real into it, they'll send me stuff. I look in their eyes. It's like they don't have a soul no more.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Or maybe they broke through.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I'm like, I feel like once we get to a point to where robots are very close to humans, like there's some sort of a sex robot that's close to humans,
right?
It's going to be a problem. I know a guy that's saving up for one. He's like, yeah, 4,500.
Wow.
And he's like,
he's saving up for some shit that isn't really out yet either.
Right. He's like, they're going to be there. He's got faith in it. He was always this guy, man. Like, what's it called? The pocket P, you know?
Yeah.
Dude, one time I was going through his room. I don't know what he had, something of mine. I was looking for it. And, dude, I see he's got one of those in his bedroom. Dude, I was disgusted.
Wow.
It's in his closet. I'm like, dude, you're that type of a guy?
Wow.
Like, what are you doing with that thing? He's like, nah, man, it feels real.
Wow.
Like, I don't know. Like, that's something that should never be mixed.
Yeah.
Or what if we get to like Demolition Man, where you just put it on your head and we're an artificial intelligence? Like, what was that girl that got assaulted in the metaverse?
I don't know.
Is the metaverse is that still going strong?
Nah, not really. They gave up on that. Yeah.
There's going to be a new metaverse coming out, and that's going to be a simulation. It's going to be like the Matrix, man. That's really what we're going to.
Right.
I guarantee you that. We're talking all this shit, like all this stuff. You ain't going to be detailing a car. You're going to be in a simulation with shit hooked up in your veins to give you vitamins.
Right. I still think Let's give it a shot.